Hello students, and thank you for joining me. So today we are going to be revisiting regular plural words or words ending in S. And we began to talk about this yesterday while we were looking at words like years, members, and citizens, but we weren't exactly sure when to use singular versus plural words or how plural words change the meaning of sentences. So that's what we're really going to be focusing on today. We are first going to be diving in by looking at a news article about a group of indigenous people that regained access to land, to tribal land. But before we do so, I would like to refresh our brains a little bit about plural words, and I will give you guys a few sentences. We will decide which one has a plural word and then what that plural word is. So ideally, I would have this displayed on the whiteboard for all the students to be able to see, but for our purposes, we're just going to pretend. Okay, so first, the teacher gave his students a test on Monday. The teacher gave his students a test on Monday. Or, there is only one student with perfect attendance. There is only one student with perfect attendance. So, which sentence do we think has a plural word? Yeah, the first one. And what is that plural word? Yep, students. Okay, the next group. My sister and her friends went on vacation. My sister and her friends went on vacation. Or, my sister has a friend with purple hair. My sister has a friend with purple hair. And which sentence do you guys think has the plural word? Yep, that first sentence. And what do we think that word is? Yep, friends. Okay, so for the final set of words. The key to her house was missing. The key to her house was missing. Or, she could not find her keys. She could not find her keys. So which sentence? Yep, the second one. And the word is keys. Good job, class. Okay, so now we are going to dive into the article. So each of you were given a copy. You can pull that out and follow along as I read. The article is titled Tribal Lands Returned by Constance Gibbs. The Esselen tribe is a group of indigenous people in Monterey County, California. On July 27th, the Esselen regained land that belonged to their ancestors. It is the first time they have gotten back any of their former territory, which they lost some 200 years ago. It is beyond words for us, the highest honor, Tom Little Bear Nason told Mercury News. He is the chairman of the Esselen tribe of Monterey County. The land is the most important thing to us. It is our homeland, the creation of our lives. We are so elated and grateful. The tribe worked with the Western Rivers Conservancy to buy the land for about $4 million. The money came from a California state proposition passed in 2018. Citizens voted for grants to be set aside for Native American natural, cultural, and historic resources in the state. The land is in an area of Northern California known as Big Sur. The Esselen lived there for more than 8,000 years, but the land was taken by the Spanish in the 1700s. Most of the Esselen people died. Today, the tribe has just 214 members. Tribal leaders plan to bring back their cultural ceremonies and teach people about Esselen history. Getting this land back gives privacy to do our ceremony, Nason says. Seeing progress. There have been other landmark wins for Native American tribes recently. In early July, a court ordered the shutdown of the Dakota Access Pipeline in North Dakota. It carries oil through land that is sacred to the Standing Rock Sioux. The next month, corporate sponsors pressured the Washington Redskins football team to change its name. Many consider the name offensive. In South Dakota, there have been protests near Mount Rushmore. The monument features the carved faces of Presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. People are calling on the U.S. government to return the area to the Great Sioux Nation. The Estlins say they will not build businesses or permanent homes on their land. They plan to share it with other tribes from the area. So now that we've taken a look at this piece of text, I want you guys to focus on a small section of it. So I will split you guys into pairs, and you should reread the 2 paragraphs I have highlighted for you. And once you have reread the text, work with your partner to identify 2 plural words and explain what makes it plural and how it changes the meaning of the sentence. Okay, you're free to work. In a real class, I would be walking around and asking the students questions, answering their questions, supporting students where it was needed. Okay, so now that everyone is finished, we will meet back as a group, and each group will share a word that they found in their information to support it. So as each group shares, the rest of the class will have to either agree or disagree if that word is plural, and then support and have to support that with evidence about how the word is plural and how it changes the meaning, etc. So now I'm going to ask everybody to put their heads down and hold up your hand on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being you don't understand this at all, 5 being I've totally mastered this. Give me a scale of 1 to 5 on how well you are understanding when and how to use regular plural words. Okay, thank you guys so much for that feedback. That's really helpful for me. And so now we're gonna just keep practicing this a little bit, and I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions, and you are going to tell me if the question is grammatically correct or if we need to change a word to its plural form. Okay? So again, this would be displayed on the whiteboard so that everybody could see it really easily. But for our purposes, we're going to pretend. Okay, so the first question is, how many picture did you take on vacation? How many picture did you take on vacation? So do you guys think that sentence is grammatically correct? No, right? It sounds a little bit funny. So let's scan through that and see where we notice we need to change something. How many picture did you take on vacation? Yeah, picture should be pictures. So what we can do is we can add an S and we can make picture pictures, and that now sounds like, how many pictures did you take on vacation? Good. Let's move on to the next one. There are 3 soccer teams. Which one are you on? There are 3 soccer teams. Which one are you on? Okay, moving on. There are boxes upstairs. Will you grab them, please? There are boxes upstairs. Will you grab them, please? And then finally, there are 12 boys in the class. How many girls? There are 12 boys in the class. How many girls? So for each of those, we would discuss if they were grammatically correct or not. And yeah, so based on the activities and their responses to the self-evaluation, if I felt the students needed more support, I would give more examples. I would look at words individually, and we would separate the root word from the S ending. We would look at the sentences in different sentences like I have. I would continue to do that. And I might provide visual aids like this, which would show an apple versus apples, for example. So I would support students with additional resources if I felt needed in that moment. But now that I feel like we're all kind of on the same page, we're going to move forward and work on this next activity. Okay, so we are going to be splitting back up into pairs, and I'm going to assign each group a plural word. So in the beginning of this lesson, we looked at a news article and we picked plural words from that news article. But now we're going to put on our journalist caps and we're going to become the authors of those news articles. So your task with your partner is to make up a story for your own news article, but you must incorporate your given plural word into your title. So, for example, if I was given the word apples, let's stick with, I would have to create a story, and the title might be On Monday, apples rained from the sky. And then I would write a story about how apples rain from the sky. But there's a little bit more to it. So I'm also going to display a word bank of different plural words, and this is going to be on the whiteboard for you all to see. And you have to pick 2 words from that big list and use them in both their singular and their plural form. So, if you were given if you chose the word book, you would have to say, for example, in one sentence, the library told us we could only check out 1 book, and people used books to protect themselves from the falling apples. Okay? So you're required to pick 2 words and use them both in their singular form and their plural form. You're encouraged to use as many as you can, but you're required to do 2. So I'm giving you 1 word, which you must incorporate in your title. And then you're going to pick 2 words from the board and use it in their singular form and its plural form. Okay? If you happen to finish this early, you can return to your desk and reread the original news article and highlight any more plural words that you find. There are tons in there, so that will keep you busy till the end. Okay, you can get to work. During this time, I'm then going to be walking around the classroom like before, and I'm going to be engaging with the students, asking them questions, answering their questions, providing support, keeping them on track, all of those good things. So now that everybody is done, you will trade your story with the group next to you, and you must identify the group's given word. So what's the plural word that I gave them that they put in their title? And then go read through their story and find as many plural words in that. So after you're all done analyzing another group's work, you're going to write that information down on a piece of paper, turn that into me along with your story. And that will sum up today's lesson. Tomorrow we will revisit this and we're going to go on to the next step. We're going to start looking at some harder plural words, maybe some irregulars, ones that change spelling, like maybe adding ES, or words that change from like goose to geese or mouse to mice, words like that. But I will see you guys tomorrow, so thank you.